Simeon Tegel is a journalist who is witnessing the unrest firsthand, and he joins me now from Lima. Simeon, give me a sense of what it's like on the ground today.
So it's a little bit quieter at the moment, but the protests are likely to start again in a little bit. They start in the afternoon and then stretch into the evening and the night. That's what happened last night. So at the moment, I would say a bit of a tense calm downtown in Lima, but I'm expecting things to pick up later on. And I think this weekend we can expect more, because yesterday was really only the first day of action, so to speak, in Lima, because it was the first day that a significant number of protesters had arrived, mainly from the Andes mountain regions of Peru, but more are still on the way. So I suspect things are going to heat up again over the weekend.
So they may heat up over the weekend, but we're already on the 7th week of protests. And it is, I think it's fair to say, it's intensifying and it is getting very violent. This time, roughly yesterday, here on my show, I spoke to the Commissioner for the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights. And he raised a really important point. He said there was a racial element in the violence that he's seeing. How much is this tied to the deep divisions and the inequality in the country, Simeon?
So this is complex. There are many issues: historical abandonment of these regions, corruption, but identity is a significant part. Peru is divided along lines of race, class, geography as well. Most of these protesters are indigenous from the Andes, and a lot of the people making decisions in Lima today and historically are not just in Lima as they make the decisions, but often from Lima, and tend to be white. So there is this real racial element to it that is felt in Peru, and that has only really become more intense over the last 18 months since Pedro Castillo was elected. A large part of his appeal was his identity as a campesino. That means in Peru, someone of indigenous ancestry who works the land. So very humble beginnings for him. And although he proved to be a disastrous president who was inept and allegedly corrupt, the identity element here is very important. Many of the protesters feel that he was the first president who was one of their own, so to speak. And the fact also that many of the members of Congress who impeached him, I think they impeached him completely correctly. He had attempted a coup, which failed. But many of the members of Congress, conservative members of Congress who impeached him, were people who had never recognized the legitimacy of his election. Very Trumpian. There was no evidence to suggest the election was anything other than fair and clean. But these conservative lawmakers did not accept it. So that's really caused a huge amount of resentment as well.
Yeah, and the protesters that we've been seeing, they want Boluarte to step down, they want a new constitution, they want new elections, but it seems it's much bigger than her at this point. Thank you very much, Simeon Tegel. Keep us posted on the situation on the ground in Lima. Thank you. And still